Hi everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss the reaction of metals with water. Water is also reacting with metals. There are four types of metal. First one, the metals which are reacting with cold water. Second one, the metals which are reacting with hot water. Third one, the metals which are reacting with steam. Fourth one, the metals which are not going to react with water. These are the classification of metal. We are going to discuss the reaction of metal with water. Reaction of metals with water. In this session, we are going to cover reaction of potassium with water, reaction of sodium with water, reaction of calcium with water, reaction of aluminum with water, reaction of iron with water. These topics we are going to cover in this session. If you didn't subscribe to this channel, please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to get the instant notification of all the videos, and visit our website www.winpointonlineclasses.com. Support us for providing free online classes to everyone. Let's start the discussion. If there is a reaction between metal and water, we are going to get metal oxide. First we will get metal oxide, and this metal oxide is going to combine with water again to form metal hydroxide. So reaction is taking place in two steps. Metal plus water gives metal oxide, and this metal oxide is reacting with water again to form metal hydroxide. So there are two steps, and we can conclude that if there is a reaction between water and metal, we are going to get metal hydroxide. Reaction of potassium and sodium with water. Here we are going to discuss the reaction of sodium and potassium with water. If there is a reaction between metal and water, we are going to get metal hydroxide. Similarly, if there is a reaction between potassium and water, we are going to get potassium hydroxide. If there is a reaction between sodium and water, we are going to get sodium hydroxide. First equation, 2Na plus 2H2O gives 2NaOH plus H2 plus energy. Here we are getting energy, which means it is an exothermic reaction. If the energy is releasing with the product, this side is product side and this side is reactant side. If the energy is releasing with product, then it is an exothermic reaction. So it is an exothermic reaction. During an exothermic reaction, there is a production of heat. Because of that heat, this inflammable hydrogen catch fire. It will catch fire. So if there is a reaction between sodium and water, we are going to get sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. This hydrogen is going to catch fire because of that production of energy. It is an exothermic reaction. Because of that, this hydrogen is going to catch fire. Next one, potassium. 2K plus 2H2O gives 2KOH plus H2 plus energy. It is also an exothermic reaction. This hydrogen is also going to catch fire. Sodium and potassium are highly reactive. It will react with water to produce hydrogen gas. This reaction is an exothermic reaction. So the evolved hydrogen catches fire. This is very important point. If there is a reaction between water and sodium, there will be sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. If there is a reaction between potassium and water, there will be production of potassium hydroxide and hydrogen. This hydrogen gas evolved, it will catch fire because these reactions are exothermic. It will liberate heat. Next one is reaction of calcium with water. It is very important topic. If we are adding calcium to water, what we are going to get? We are going to get calcium hydroxide. If there is a reaction between calcium and water, we are going to get calcium hydroxide and hydrogen. But this reaction is not exothermic. Because of that, this hydrogen is not going to catch fire. Ca plus 2H2O gives CaOH twice plus H2. Here we are getting hydrogen, but it is not an exothermic reaction. Heat is not liberating with the product. So this hydrogen is not going to catch fire. There is a question from this session. The question is, calcium floats on water, why? When we are adding calcium to water, it will float on the surface of water. What is the reason? First, let's see the experiment. Here there is a conical flask and it consists of water, and I added calcium metal here. Here you can see this calcium metal. If there is a reaction between calcium and water, we are going to get calcium hydroxide, and with that there will be evolution of hydrogen gas. So you can see hydrogen gases here. Hydrogen bubbles. These bubbles, some of these bubbles are going to stick on the surface of calcium metal. Here you can see some of the bubbles are sticking on the surface of calcium metal. Because of this sticking, the calcium metal is going to float on the surface of water. So reason for floating is hydrogen bubbles. The hydrogen bubbles are sticking on the surface of calcium, and we can see that the calcium metal is floating on the surface of water. Calcium floats on water. Why? Reason is calcium reacts with water to produce hydrogen bubbles. These hydrogen bubbles stick to the surface of the metal. These bubbles are going to stick on the surface and it will float. Magnesium is also going to show the same, but magnesium is not highly reactive like calcium. So it won't react with cold water, but magnesium will react with hot water. If there is a reaction between magnesium and hot water, there will be production of magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide will be there, and there will be production of hydrogen gas in the form of bubbles, and this magnesium metal also is going to float on the surface of water because the bubbles are sticking to the surface of metal, and this metal is going to float. Magnesium does not react with cold water, it reacts with hot water to form magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. It also starts floating due to the bubbles of hydrogen gas sticking to its surface. To the surface, you can see that the bubbles are sticking to the surface of metal and the metal will float. The reaction is Mg plus 2H2O gives MgOH twice plus H2. That is the reaction for this. Metals like aluminium, iron and zinc do not react either with cold or hot water, but they react with steam to form the metal oxide and hydrogen. Very important point. Aluminium, iron, zinc, they are not going to react with water, but these metals are going to react with steam, water vapor, but we are going to get its oxide, not hydroxide. If it is aluminium, aluminium oxide. If it is iron, it is iron oxide. If it is zinc, the product will be zinc oxide. Here we are not going to get hydroxide, here we are going to get oxide. Let's see the reaction. 2Al plus 3H2O gives Al2O3 plus H2. Here we are getting aluminium oxide. The reaction is between aluminium and H2O in the form of gas. You can see the in bracket it is G, it is gaseous form, and we are getting Al2O3 plus hydrogen. This reaction is very important. You need to learn the equation. There will be one or two questions from this session, and the question will be like this. Write the equation for the reaction between aluminium and steam. That will be the question. So you need to learn the equation. Next equation, 3Fe plus 4H2O gives Fe3O4 plus 4H2. It is also one of the important reaction. Here also we are getting Fe3O4. If there is a reaction between metal and steam, we are getting oxide. Reaction with water. There are some metals, they won't react with water. The fourth type, they won't react with water. The metals like lead, copper, silver and gold, they do not react with water. Thanks for watching.